Frederic, the resurrection of music. Now, some of you out there might be going, what? This is a game on the WiiU eShop? Yes, it is, as of a week ago. I love to find odd titles to review, and I've definitely found the motherlode here. This is not a new game, but a re-release of a 2012 PC game. Not only that, it was an iOS game. Which playing it, I always suspected that it came to the iOS at one point. It feels like it was made for the multi-touch, which is something the Wii U gamepad doesn't have. Now, it's also been released for the Mac and Vita. Yeah, they still make games for the Vita. I was just as shocked as you. Now it's out for the WiiU eShop. So is this title worth your time, or should this pianist go back to the grave? Now I do want to say first off that the first problem I have with this game is the lack of TV viewing. Now you might be saying, oh, I can see this on the TV and you can see it on the gamepad, but that's not what I mean. You only get to see the aftermath of me playing. Personally, I think the game would have been better if while people were watching me play, they could see the notes that I'm trying to press to the music instead of just some repetitive on-screen cutscenes and a percentage of how many points I get on a note. I'll show you the occasional footage of me playing the game on the Wii U gamepad, but the problem is my hand is going to be in the way a lot of the time, so it makes for bad recording footage to watch. The whole concept of this title is, what if Chopin was an undead corpse who came back to our world in present time, and he travels the world in a golden carriage and magically shrinking grand piano so he can battle the musical villains of our world? Yeah, there's so many problems with that whole concept. Why is he an undead corpse? Why does he have a golden carriage that flies him wherever he wants? Because I don't remember that in the stories of Chopin. And why does nobody freak out over a musical legend coming back to life? You might be saying, oh, no one knows it's him. Oh, they know. In Japan, they even make him do a concert, and a bunch of people show up and record it with their cell phones. No one's freaking out of this pale, obviously dead man walking around. And of course, when he gets to America, and it's New York, he meets some terrible rap gangsters who decide to rob him. Nice F you to America there, publishers. Now, the story is told out through somewhat animated cutscenes. There are a lot of them. In fact, I would say there was just a little bit less story than gameplay, but just a little bit less. And I actually liked that. I really enjoyed the story. As odd as it was, it kept me entertained. And I kept wondering how much more batshit crazy could this story get? And every time I thought they couldn't get any weirder, they drive it up a notch. Now, this is a music game, but that's not probably too much of a shock. You have to press the piano keys at the right time when the notes flow over the keys. There are black and white keys that you're going to need to press, and eventually you may have to move your finger from one side to the other when the note asks you with an arrow, or you may have to hold down a key when you see a line behind it. If you've ever played Guitar Hero or Rock Band, the whole game's mechanics should feel very at home to you. However, if you've seen my previous reviews, you should know I'm absolutely terrible at these type of games. And this is no different. It didn't help that the controls were just a bit wonky, and some of the moves were just too clunky and awkward to pull off. They had you do super moves by shaking your gamepad, but that just got in the way of playing the game. And every time I did it, I always missed a note. Then occasionally a message would pop up in the part that you're playing the game that you're doing excellent, because you hit a bunch of notes in a row without messing up. But it gets in the way of the notes, and I missed another one because of it. Why couldn't they put it up higher? One of the things that I liked was that if you wanted to complete the story, there was a super easy mode, which will basically let you do the least amount of work and the most amount of misses to advance the story. Even when I screwed up massively, it still said I did good. The music that you're playing the notes to is classical music that Chopin has composed. As you can see, for example, you're playing Sonata B-moll Nur 2, Nocturne S Dern Op 9 Nur 2, and Polners Az Dern Op 53 and Nocturne. Oh my goodness. Now that he's in the modern age, he needs someone to talk to him about modern song titles. Hey Chopin, thanks for calling me back. We had some problems with your song titles. What's the problem? People are searching for them in Google so they can get them, so they can download them, so we can make some moolah. But the problem is their searches come back with some pretty different search results. So we're going to need to change some of your song titles ASAP. What? I was thinking something simple. No, I don't think A Midnight Ride in the Summers of Days is a good one. How about The Cat Went Up the Tree? Trust me, I know, trust me, with youth nowadays, we gotta keep it simple and easy to search. Alright? Trust me on this one. We're gonna make millions. There are 3 other difficulty levels, and the next one up is normal. But it might as well be don't even bother with its difficulty level, as the difficulty level spikes up crazy hard. And for someone like me who's terrible at these type of games, it was very annoying that the other mode, which was called Arena, was locked until you beat the game in normal mode. Since that wasn't going to happen, I'm just going to assume Arena was just like pick a bad guy and play against him mode. No idea if it's any fun because the creators thought it'd be too good for any non-easy player to access. Frederic, the Resurrection of Music had potential. It was too bad that in the 2 years they made this game, they didn't perfect the controls. The story was odd, but strangely endearing. You'll never know where the story is going, mainly because I'm convinced that a group of people all got together while drinking one day, and then they each wrote a chapter and then jammed it together to make one story about a zombie Chopin who just wants to make sweet music for the masses. But anyways, the game was okay though. So is it worth a buy? This is a difficult one. There is some replayability with the other difficulty levels, and maybe in that mythical arena mode that I wasn't able to test. This isn't like Just Dance or even to a very, very lesser extent Country Dance. You're going to most likely not know any of the songs or even care about them unless you love classical music. So unless you really enjoy that type of music, or if the price was to come down a little bit, I'd say you should probably just skip it. Man, I love being an undead talent agent. Alright, it's time to go get a pizza and go after Elvis. Well, that was a crazy Mozart game for the eShop. Well, there's a statement I never thought I'd ever say. Why don't you check out my last review of the barely in it, don't know why it's called Mario Tennis Power Tour. Or you can go way, way back to see an old review of mine of Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock for the Wii. Like always, thanks for watching and please subscribe.